Yep. All right, people. Good evening. Good evening. It is Wednesday, March 16th, 2022. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. I am your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. We are live on Twitch. We are live on Twitter. We are live on our YouTube channel, which is the name of the show. Please like and share and subscribe. We are live on my Facebook page. I am making it public right now, so everybody who's not my friends can get on. I want you guys to invite at least 3 people to the show so we can get this audience up and running. Again, I'm excited. For one, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You are one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. It has been proven over and over again since the show started. Um, I usually read the bio and I'll let you know how I know the person. The funny thing is, I don't even remember how I met him. Never met him in person, but I know I seen his information cross my timeline on Facebook. And I was like, ooh, that looked like somebody I need to talk to because he definitely got a story to tell. And so, of course, I am biased with all my guests. All my guests are dope, and definitely dope is what he specializes in, huh?
This is
Yes,
true.
yes. So we're gonna get into his bio real quick. I'm excited to have him on tonight. I skipped around a little bit, and I think God probably did this on purpose on how the printer came out, but it's all good. So, Keemthefranchize, the rapper, the filmmaker, got his start in music through his love of the culture, starting writing rhymes at a young age. Born and raised in this city, that is Detroit, that is, his passion for music and film took him to Eastern Michigan University. On February 22nd, 2022, which was the day of double manifestation, if y'all into all of that, he dropped his new project called Dope Number Two. And it was so funny about the word dope, which is produced by Nigel Northstar Singleton from New York, Malcolm Bryan from Houston, Texas, and Darrell Red Campbell from Detroit. This new project is described as dope evolution of creativity that's authentically themed the franchise in various styles. The 7 track album introduces a variety of new sounds filled with the same lyrical depth that fans of him have come to love and respect. When asked what the main goal for Dope 2 is, Keem says that he wants the listener to know that there is room for greatness. There isn't just one definition or concept of dope. We all have something dope to offer. This is a continuation of Dope, the EP. So I'm just sharing my stories to hopefully inspire others to embrace their dopeness. Taking the bad, making it dope, recognizing the good by calling it dope, and just hoping for dope outcomes. And with a supportive fan base of thousands, Keem hopes to see this message spread throughout the world. I'm going to skip around. He has chemotherapy on Instagram, Facebook. But the part that got me after graduation, Keem's journey led him to Houston, where he would experience one of the biggest challenges of his life. What are you talking about? And it's a stage 3 cancer. He is now a proud cancer survivor and advocate, and his music features a layered lyrical depth and is described as ideal for the visual storytelling of film and television. So, you guys, I want you to welcome Keemthefranchize to this platform this evening.
Hey. That's what's up.
So, how are you?
I'm well. I am absolutely well. Happy to be alive, to be moving, breathing, hearing, seeing, all them 5 senses. I'm really good. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
So again, normally I have a story, a backstory to say like how I met the person, but I really it just came across my Facebook page.
Yeah.
I saw the visual of the your pictures and the story that you were posting with the pictures
Hmm.
grabbed my attention, and I said he needs to be on the platform
Yeah.
to tell his story. And I want to say this is right before February 22nd when I saw
Mm.
it. So again, I appreciate you being here,
Absolutely.
um, to be able to tell your story to us. Let's go in the beginning part of recognizing that you are dope.
Yeah. Well, that's just that word is part of, just my environment where I grew up around, what I'm saying? Everything was just dope. It was just something that I gravitated to. And so I just attached that to, me being part of the hip hop culture. Just, at the time, you don't really realize that it's culture. It's just this how we talk,
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And so I just incorporated my life, my art imitates life, what I'm saying? And so with that, just everything that's going on in my world, my ups, my downs, my language, my learning, my losing, my experiencing, just everything about life. I try to find a way to put it in to music. And so with my release of the Dope EP, it just continue on for something to be dope two, and then dope two as in the number two, and two also the day two. It's just crazy how that even came together. But yeah, I find myself saying that often. You know what I'm saying? And it's not nothing um any ploy or marketing thing. Like it's literally me. You know what I'm saying? I just found like, yo, that's dope. She dope. This dope. It's like it's a noun. You know what I'm saying? A person can be dope, a place can be dope, things can be dope. And so I'm just heavy on the dopeness. You know what I'm saying? God is dope. Just everything is dope. You know what I'm saying? And so I decided to name my first project that I released back in 2000, and I believe that was 18, which was the Dope EP. And just really want to make some dope hip hop, some dope music. And then this continuation happened, as far as dope too. We still riding the wave of all things dope.
Right. And it's funny that you said that because those was the words God said to me about starting this podcast and who to reach out to. He
Yeah,
told me your inner circle, the people around you are dope,
that's what's up.
and you need to start with them first. And so when you said that, and I'm laughing like, wow, here's that word dope again.
Yeah,
And so and it proves um once you have the means to actually have a conversation, and I had to correct you, like this is not an interview. I don't do
yeah,
interviews. This is a whole conversation of us
sweet.
expressing that, catching up,
Yeah,
explaining to people your whole story so they could, appreciate the where we at now.
yeah,
Like reading your story got my attention on what was displayed on Facebook. Like I said, I don't even know how it came across, but your visual is what caught my attention. And then I reading the caption, and that caught my attention. Like I need to
yeah.
reach out to him um to get him on here.
Hmm.
So going into being raised in Detroit, and we all have our stories, our ups and downs, what side you from?
I'm from the east side,
Mm,
7 Mile, Ryan, Persian, Osborne, that area.
okay.
That's where I grew up. And then when my mom and dad decided to not be, a unit, I ended up moving west. And then from there, I ended up moving to Southfield. And a crazy thing, when I stayed in Southfield, I went to Cass. And then when we moved back to Detroit, I ended up going to Southfield. So my address was lying and stuff just so I could, be in Southfield.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I grew up on the east side, you know what I'm saying? Around Persian, Osborne, Doughboys. So yeah, I'm east side
And it's
for the
funny you
most
said
part.
that because that's my alma mater.
Persian,
No, Osborne.
I yeah, my sisters, my brothers went to Osborne. So yeah, I knew everybody, that area from Ryan all the way down. You know what I'm saying? They was either at Persian or Osborne. So yeah, I grew up around that. So yep.
That's funny. So, so what age did you really understand or know that you had a gift in writing?
Crazy thing. I was like maybe 15, but I was already, so I started writing my dad letters maybe when I was like, I say like around 9 or 10, because my dad worked at Ford and he worked afternoons. And so I didn't see my dad until the weekend. And so when I was at school, he was home during the day. When I got home, he was gone. And then when he came home, I was asleep. And then when I got
Mm-hmm.
up to leave to go to school, he was asleep. So, I say this often, like, my daddy was present, but my father was absent. And, not on the
Not
strength of,
knocking him. Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, like on no no whackness. He was just working. He was taking care of a house of like 8 people. You know what I'm saying? And so he was working a lot. So I didn't see him. And so things kind of started happening in the house. I stayed with my stepbrothers and sisters and my stepmom. And I was the youngest. And so I just kind of started writing letters to my dad. And he would leave his shoes on the step. And so I started like sticking the notes in his shoes for him to read. I just remember some of his responses to me, like, man, this is really good writing. And I didn't really know at the time. I really was just expressing myself. And so from that, when I left there and moved with my mom, I had a really good friend of mine, he kind of like made me rap. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, we gonna start this group. And I was like, I've always been kind of like shy and reserved and easy and kind of like, just laid back. That's always been like my personality. And so, it was just me and him in the garage. So we would just rap to certain things and nobody knew. And we were making these tapes. We would actually use cassette tapes. And on one side, it would be, when cassette tapes had the instrumental on the back. So we would use the instrumental, play it on the other side. And, we had this, this way that we rig things to, make our own tapes. And so somehow my dad found that tape. And on the tape, I think I had cursed, you know what I'm saying? I had said something that was just like, it was tough. I was trying to find myself. I was rapping,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And so I don't remember exactly what I said, but I knew I said something that I wouldn't say in front of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad found the tape and I heard him playing it. And I'm just like, oh my God. And so he called me, he hit me by the whole name. He like, Joaquin. I'm like, yo. So I go to see what he want. And he got the serious face. He like, sit down. I sit down and he was like, yeah, I heard your stuff. I was like, yeah. And this is his exact words. He said, keep doing it. You got a gift. And then he
Wow.
said something to follow that up. He said, continue to write from your heart. And from that, having that support, that love, that motivation, that encouragement, that, my dad was really foundational in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I understand just the importance of having a father, and just to kind of go off a little bit, but back on, just growing up on 7 Mile and in that area, you know what I'm saying? I was around a lot. I had a lot of friends, they were into all type of things. But my dad oftentimes would tell me, that's not you. He just kept reminding me, that's not you. And to this day, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that I don't do or found myself in or around because of that guidance that I have from my pops, you know what I'm saying that's not you. And so even looking back to what I do now, that those words from my pops, my dad was like, yo, you got a gift, do this. And he actually, after he found that tape, he was the one that he sent me. I ended up going to CAS. Instead, I didn't go to Osborne to Persian. He sent me to CAS. And I took the test at the time to get into CAS. You had to take these tests,
Yep.
get in either CAS, King, or Renaissance. And I ended up,
Mm-hmm.
going to CAS. And I remember like the summer before I got into high school, my dad told me, he was just like, man, you either gonna be in business or entertainment because it's unlimited income. And at the time, I'm like, I'm in the 8th grade. I don't know what he's talking about, but
Right.
it's just crazy how those things ring true. So from just that, them, from my dad just really pushing me and saying things, and you know what I'm saying, that's when like my love just kind of from those writings just kind of started making sense looking back in hindsight, those different things as far as what my dad would say and what I was doing from writing. I was like, man, I was expressing myself then. You know what I'm saying? The stuff didn't rhyme or whatever, but I noticed just kind of how I was writing. And so as I began to just grow and learn and just be in love with hip hop, I started piecing things together and piecing words and piecing stories and understanding concept, understanding bars, and then just really, putting myself into the music. And so, back to that moment, to answer your question, with this long way we went.
It's good though.
It was
It
my dad finding that tape and, giving me this crazy look. I thought I was in trouble. And he was
trouble,
just
yeah.
like, man, yo, right from your heart, you got a gift. And I'm like,
That was the seed, like
absolutely, absolutely.
um when we look as kids, we already showing signs of what we're gonna become.
Yeah,
And we can't, get into the world system of saying, asking your, what do you want to be? I don't
yeah,
know. But if you're
absolutely.
paying attention to your child, 9 times
Mhm.
out of 10, they're already showing you what they're gonna become, what
Yeah,
God ordained them to be.
yep,
And so that was good. That is awesome to even hear that your father saw that at a young age
yeah,
and encouraged you to
yep,
continue to do that.
yep.
Because what if he you know, did the opposite of what you actually thought? You
Which
probably
is
wouldn't even be
yeah,
writing right now.
which is crazy. My dad, he retired from Ford. He worked at Ford for like 34, 35 years. And I remember when I turned like 18, I would beg him to like, bruh, get me in the Ford. Like, and he just would be like, no. Like he had poor. I used to be so mad at him. Like, man, I could be making bread. He
You would have
like,
got
no, that
stuck.
he like, that's not you. I'm like, man, let me see. You know what I'm saying? Like he would never allow me to get in that. So
Because
yeah.
what happens, and it's nothing against the plants and, all of these post office and all of this,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
get
yeah.
stuck in the routine and they get stuck in the money and the benefits and
Yeah.
they never move.
Yeah.
They never move into what they were destined to do. You're just doing it for like at that moment. But
Yeah.
sometimes that moments when you're supposed to step away, you
Yeah.
don't. And so I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. I truly get it. Then there's the moment of maturing the gift.
Yeah.
Um and sometimes it comes overnight and sometimes it takes time.
Yeah.
You gotta bump your head a little bit. You gotta
Oh
have some
yeah. There's a lot of
experiences.
head bumping. Oh yeah. Oh
You gotta
yeah.
have some experiences to start
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, she broke my heart. Oh,
Don't
what
preach.
I'm doing out here.
Yep. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
how do you take take those moments and turn them into the words that's going across your heart? Like that
Yeah.
vulnerable moment. Like some people, I'm gonna say this, some people take them vulnerable moments, they go grab a bottle, they go grab some
Yeah.
pills, they go grab all this other stuff to
Yeah.
try to, not deal with your emotion or
Yeah.
what's going on with you.
Absolutely.
So how did you not do those to actually writing it down on paper?
I would honestly say, just the grace of God. I'm naturally expressive. You know what I'm saying? And I battle with that often just because of society. And my mom shared something with me before, like embrace the men in our family, like we sensitive, we have a heart, and not sensitive to the point to where it's
Yeah, I
just like,
get it.
you know what I'm saying? Like we care about things, we care about people. And so I've always, as early as I can remember, just been expressive. You know what I'm saying? Just very expressive. Now I had no problem with sharing my heart, especially with people that I love. I've had no problem with if I get in trouble or something. No, I tell my mom, you know what I'm saying? I quit to tell my mom, like this going on. I did this. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom, even growing up, my mom would let me know, like, look, I don't care if you kill somebody and you lie to the police, you tell me. You know what I'm saying? That's a bit extreme, but I knew what she was saying. You know what I'm saying? And she just made that clear that I can always be open with her. So I've always, just something innate in me to express myself. And so again, my art imitating my life, I just express that, you know what I'm saying? Express my relationships, express my, my doubt with God at times, you know what I'm saying? My battles with not understanding, even like now, you know what I'm saying? Me having this conversation with you, I'm like, man, I've been doing this for a minute. There's that battle of me not being where I want to be right now, why I'm not on tour, why I'm not selling out arenas, you know what I'm saying? Why I'm not in Cancun about to do a show. Why I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I got a video on BET, you know what I'm saying? And granted, those things are seemingly superficial, but as an artist, as a hip hop artist, as somebody who loves the craft, love the genre, love, passionate about it, not you, I'm not there. So you have those battles, you know what I'm saying? I have those battles all the time. You know what I'm saying? I left my job, you know what I'm saying? Well, like, okay, I'm about to go 100 full force in this. And so I'm saying all that to say I've always been expressive. I've always like, this is how I feel, and granted, there's wisdom that is wrapped up in. I'm not just out here like telling everything, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a place and a time for it. But again, back to those letters that I would write to my dad, just looking at that, like I was really expressive about just what I was going through. And I think sometimes we often think that that's just pain, you know what I'm saying? But it's pleasure, is me expressing, good, the bad, the ugly, the I don't know, the when, the where, the how, the who, you know what I'm saying? The what for, you know what I'm saying? So I've always just been kind of, really expressive. And, my parents have definitely encouraged that, you know what I'm saying? Encouraged me, sharing those things because um, I just
Mm.
see the relationships that I've built with family or friends just from saying, hey, I'm dealing with this. And then somebody else come and be like, me too. And it's crazy how sometimes, even when there's not a active solution, there's something about someone having empathy or empathizing what you're going through that you kind of feel like we gonna be okay. We gonna
Yeah.
get through this. You know what I'm saying?
So
And so
it's the whole, you said a lot,
yeah.
and I'm about to help you out.
All right, help me.
I'm about to help you out. So this is a season, as we understand, of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I have proof. Last night, the show that I had with the mother and daughter, she said something, and I said, let me tell you something. We're gonna speak it. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna meet Missy Elliott. This is the
Mm-hmm.
person she wants to meet. She wants to do a collab with, whatever. It doesn't matter what she's doing with it, long as it's with Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
Less than 24 hours. She cut the clip, but when I asked who would you want to collab with, she posted it. Instagram. Do you know Missy? Tagged the her post and sent her hugs.
Wow.
Less than 24 hours. So what am I telling you?
Come on, preach.
So we gonna speak differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you this too. Walking away from a job, okay. We went from 40 hours to barely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, God, I'm your child. I'm one of your favorites. What's going on? And the simple thing was, if you don't like it, speak it, change it.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got time to do what I'm doing now. Now I got time to really put forth the biggest effort to
Yeah.
make sure that I'm available. Work on me. Do all of these things. I question all of that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I'm speaking something different.
Yeah.
It just manifested yesterday.
Yeah.
It manifested from what we talked about. So same thing for you. Timing is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Connections are everything. So we gonna speak it in days time. I'm gonna get a call to be on BT. I'm gonna get a call to
Yeah.
do such and such. Man, please, they don't understand, but they about to.
Yeah.
They about to.
Yeah.
Everything has a reason. The timing, your experiences. If you didn't have all of this stuff, you wouldn't be able to write what you write.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to be here. But God got a purpose for you. Purpose. It was a
Yeah.
reason that me and you met. Purpose.
Absolutely.
I had to change and help you. No, we gonna speak what we want.
Absolutely.
Not months from now. Not years from now. No. It was an example just put before me on yesterday. Today, Missy Elliott is connecting with her based off of what she said out of her own mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your voice, my voice, God's people voice is needed in the earth. You have authority to speak it.
Mm.
So we speaking it. Period.
Yeah.
Now that's dope.
Amen. Amen.
Now
Yeah.
that's dope.
Yeah, for
But let's
sure.
go into I told you I was gonna help you.
Hey, go
So,
ahead.
um, yeah. So let's go into getting ready. You did your time at did you graduate from Cass or the other school?
Nope, I graduated from Southfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're graduating, you have picture college and you're getting ready to go. So at this point, did you already have in mind that you were going into filming?
No. Nope.
Okay. So how did you get to that?
So when I graduated high school, I didn't go straight to college.
Okay.
I actually my aunt got me into the plant. So I ended up working at GM, but this crazy how stuff
Mm,
worked. I worked there for maybe like 6 months and made the most money of my life, but I was the most miserable.
been there, done that.
And
And you went against your daddy people too? Shame on you.
I was living nice. I had a Mustang. I was shopping. I was taking my boy shop. I had a lot of money, but I was working from like 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. So it's just really strenuous on my body. Just even at that time, I'm just like, man, I don't like this. I can't really do nothing. Yeah. So I end up, they end up laying people off around a certain time because what they would do and like they would lay people off before the 90 days so they wouldn't hire
Mm-hmm.
them in, but they end up keeping me, but I laid myself off.
Okay.
And so from that, just continue to, just trying to figure out life, still rapping here and there, and end up speaking myself into a record contract. I remember saying, like, yo, I'm gonna get a record deal. It's crazy that you said that. But I remember saying, yo, I'm gonna get a record deal. And maybe about 6 months later, I ended up getting a deal with this label. So fast forward, then I started going to school. I went to school because my parents decided to go to Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have nowhere to stay. So I enrolled into school like, well, I'm gonna just go here, stay on campus. And so when I ended up at Eastern, um, I didn't know what to take. I just was happy to find somewhere to stay, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of worked out. They accepted me the first day. People like Eastern accept anybody, but they accepted me the first day. I went, filled out, got my financial aid, all that on the first day. And I didn't know what I wanted to, what I'm saying? I was just so engulfed into music. I'm like, what can I do? So I kind of started just searching, if you will. I was dropping classes. I wasted a lot of money over a span of like 2-3 years, picking up classes, not going to classes, writing raps in classes. Like everything was evolved around music until this one day I end up taking this class, which was a communication and theater arts. And it was we were doing a lot of acting and role playing in there, and I'm just like, man, I love this. Like, oh, I like this. And so from there, I end up joining this drama club up at Eastern, where we were doing acting and doing plays and shorts and stuff. And from there, things just kind of started again popping up from my childhood. I will always be the one with the camera recording things, highlighting things, documenting things. And from that, I'm like, yo, I want to get into acting. And so that's when I changed my major. I think this may be about my seventh time. I changed it to communication and theater arts. And so I still was kind of like, what do I need school for? I start running into these different gurus and different people talking about you don't need school. So I'm like, you're right, I don't need school. You know what I'm saying? So I found myself back into really going hard on my craft. And then I ended up in Houston. And when I got in Houston, I couldn't find somebody to shoot me a music video. I was looking around, and then all my resources and everything was here, still in Michigan. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a class on how to shoot a film, and I ended up taking a class down at Houston Community College. And that, after I took that class, I just ended up falling in love being around. It was like a Cheers bar, like everybody was, you know what I'm saying, on the same creative wavelength. People understood, you know what I'm saying, just the journey of not having a quote unquote typical 9 to 5, that passion to be in the entertainment industry, those creative things. So I was just around a lot of people that were like-minded. So that ended up turning into a whole associate's degree in filmmaking. And so that's how kind of, these different gifts that I was like overlooking. Again, back in hindsight, you like, oh my God, I've been doing that this whole time, and so it just kind of unfolded, just even the storytelling and me writing, I'm saying, the writing goes into film, the writing goes into music. And so I just started incorporating those two unknowingly. And then from there, I had graduated, and that's when right before I graduated, I had cancer, which we talk about.
We gonna go there.
Yeah. So from there, that's when I started, you know, um, just realizing more, because when I was at Eastern, I thought all I could do was rap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was just so like, this is what I do. That's all I want to do. And somehow that bled over into me thinking that's all that I could do.
I'm about to help you again. You ready? Is you ready? So when we talk about being creative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just got excited. When we're creative, right?
Mm-hmm.
God didn't make you one sided, right?
Right.
So you can do multiple things, right? So sometimes we gotta move from our norm
Mm.
to find out there's more to you
Yeah.
than, and all along, which is so funny. This is why I love like Marvel movies and superhero stuff, because you find out in the craziest moment there's more to you.
Yeah.
Oh. And you be like, well, why I didn't see this before?
Mm-hmm.
God didn't want you to see it then.
Yeah.
So you had to move from your comfort zone, go to a college,
Mm.
basically for shelter, so we thought,
Yeah.
to awaken something inside of you,
Yeah.
move again to find out that you can do this.
Yeah.
Is a piece of cake to you. Actually, you're going to love it. This is the fun part. And then here comes the wilderness. So tell me about those moments when the wilderness came, meaning cancer.
Yeah.
Did you get a call? Did you start feeling sick? What was it?
Um. So it started with this rash on the back of my leg.
Mm-hmm.
I was working out pretty. intense. When I was in Houston, I would literally go out every day, and it was like this really huge park. Anybody familiar with Houston? It's called Memorial Park, and it's a lot of like trees and different things. So I brushed up against a couple of trees a few times. So I'm like, oh, this must be poison ivy. So I ain't think nothing of it. I'm like, this gonna go away. So maybe about the fourth day, it was on my other leg. And so at this point, I'm scratching it. I'm just like, man, I got to get to the doctor. Mind you, I'm just like, I just never felt the doctor. I just don't want to go to the doctor. I'm just like, this gonna go away. Maybe if I drink some Vernors, you know what I'm saying, this will make the poison ivy go away. And so it moved from my legs to my thighs, this rash. So I'm like, okay, this is bad. I go to the urgent care. They look at it. They like, oh, this poison ivy. So they hit me with a nice shot on my backside. I'm like, I'm gonna be all right in a couple of days. 2 weeks went by, so now it's on my legs, it's on my thighs, it's on my stomach, it's on my back, and now it's on my arms here. And I'm just like, man, this is ridiculous. Like, this is getting out of control. And so kept scratching. Like, it was just really, really bad. To I would be bleeding here and there, and like it just was getting really bad. And I was getting all type of creams. And I went back. They like, yeah, it's poison ivy. I'm just like, this is some weird type of poison ivy. So they told me to take, I forgot what I was taking. And maybe about that third week, I woke up with like a terrible, like the worst sore throat ever. But the rash was, going away. And my throat was it was just really bad. Prior to me having that sore throat, I started maybe 2 nights prior to that having night sweats. And I'm like, man, the air ain't on, the heat not on. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's cool right now. Like, why am I sweating? So I thought maybe, I'm just tucked under the cover too much because I like pillows and comforters. So I'm like, let me not sleep with that. Sweating again. I'm like, oh, maybe this Target cotton tee that's doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Took that off, so I'm still sweating. But I wake up with this really bad sore throat, take some throat lozenges, do the tea and everything. But maybe about the fifth day, it got even worse. My night sweats got really, even more bad or worse. And so from that, I started coughing really bad to where I couldn't catch my breath. So I ended up going to the doctor, and they was like, yeah, you having bronchial spasms, whatever. And so they gave me like an inhaler. They gave me like this breathing treatment. And then, so now we like a month into this thing, and like, I'm really coughing really bad. I'm coughing so bad again, I can't catch my breath. And I'm just like, man, this a long cough, like a long cold. And at this point, I'm losing weight rapidly. And as I started losing weight, I started seeing these lumps in my neck. And so they was like golf size, like on both sides of on my neck. And so from that, I started going to different doctors, and they were, saying everything from H. pylori. They was checking like my heart. They were checking like my kidney. They were checking like everything, you know what I'm saying? But nobody said it was that. And so I ended up going to another doctor. And then when I went from that doctor, really embarrassing, or not embarrassing, it was just really, it kind of scared me. Like, they didn't really check me. Like, the first thing they asked me was, I have an unprotected sex. And at the time I was married, I'm like, my wife right here, like, no, like, she the only one I'm with. Like, that's the only thing you can come up with. So they was like, well, let's just check for that, for HIV. So those were the longest 3 days of my life. Cause again, I knew something was wrong with me, but I didn't know exactly what was wrong with me. And so they end up calling me like, could you come down? And I'm just like, can y'all just tell me over the phone, yo? Like, what's really good? I get there. It's the most dramatic 45 minutes of my life. Nurse come in, have a seat, come back, the doctor be with you. Come back, we just checking on you. I'm like, damn it, could y'all tell me what's going on?
What's going on, right?
Come back, she come back, hey, maybe close to an hour later, like, hey, it's not HIV. So I'm like, well, what is it? So they like, we're gonna send you to something. So they send me somewhere else. And at this time, I'm getting really tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been sick for over a year now, like literally sick. Lost like 30 pounds in less than a month. I was really frail, really small. And like people didn't see me, my family in Detroit, because I was in Houston at the time. So I was really frail, really small. And it just got really bad. I kept going to all these doctors and nobody was just helping me, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know exactly why, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really getting full care or really looked into. And again, I was blacking out, didn't have no appetite. The lumps were getting bigger. And one was getting so big in my throat, I could feel myself wheezing because it was cutting off my pipe. And I just was really getting tired. And I found myself giving up. So one night, some friends called. It was like, it was going on. And I was like, I don't know. I just blacked out again. They're like, well, King, we taking you to the doctor. So they end up taking me to emergency, and emergency saw the lumps and everything. I was really dehydrated. They hooked me up, and a doctor came in there and he saw me, and I knew he knew instantly, what was up. He was like, "We about to really get you checked out. We're gonna keep you here for a little bit." And I ended up staying there for 3 weeks. And so they checked me out. They did really like a bunch of biopsy, bone biopsy, did a lot of stuff, and then that's when they found out I was at stage 3. I had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and they immediately like, okay, we gotta rush you to chemo. But I couldn't go to chemo. It's the weird thing. My blood count was so low that I couldn't start at chemo, but I needed chemo to get my blood count up. So it was like this weird place that I was in. I was really ill, and so I was in the hospital for like 3 weeks initially, and they were taking blood because they had to keep watching me. They had to like cut open one of my bones to make sure that the cancer didn't get into that. I had to have this port put in my arm, so when I did start chemo, they would plug up the port. So it was a really long, tough battle. But I remember when I was in the hospital, they would wake me up like religiously at like 3, 4 a.m. to take blood because they had to make sure they monitor where I was at, hooked up the heart monitor and everything. But I remember I was laying in the bed, I saw this storm, and in the midst of this storm, I saw these pillars, and like it was hailing, it was raining, it was like a tsunami, it was a hurricane, but these pillars was not moving. They wasn't moving at all. And I remember just having the thought of God speaking to me like, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to find some peace in this storm, And again, at the time, I'm just like not understanding what's going on. I'm like, why me? I'm like, what did I do? I'm trying to think of all my exes. Do I call and say sorry? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did I mess up? Am I doubting God? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went through all those emotions of like, did I lie somewhere? Did I do anything? And so after that, I started chemo, and the crazy part about the chemo, it was worse than the cancer. Like it was another level of pain, another level of exhaustion, another level of nausea, another level of just being tired and hurt and broke down. And so I started that process, and maybe about I say 6 months into it, I started seeing a turnaround just in my body. And after that, maybe like about the ninth month, I did my last round. I rung that bell, and I've been good ever since. I've been good, and I've had some complications afterwards. You know what I'm saying, because of the chemo. I've had to have back surgery 2 years ago, which was like the chemo had weakened my spine. I had a tumor removed. I had some stuff going on with my kidneys this past year that I had to have surgery. So I've had a bunch of like after things from that. But I always keep that in mind that like, man, I was healed. I was brought through that. I made it through that. I'm good. I'm going to make it through the next thing. Sometimes I forget that. You know what I'm saying? I forget it. But yeah, this is where I'm at right now today.
So I'm gonna help you again.
I'm listening.
So I'm gonna help you again. So one of these things, it's so funny when certain things pop up and you hear like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you supposed to tell them this.
Yeah.
So Matthew chapter 4, which is my
Mm-hmm.
favorite, that's really been helping me. This is the part when Jesus get tested before he
Yeah.
goes in the wilderness, right? The first sentence says Jesus was already prepared for the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
He was extremely hungry, but he was already prepared. So this talks about Jesus went through 3 different tests. Now I'm gonna put you in it.
Mm-hmm.
He went through all these tests. The part you get excited about is that every time the enemy tried to show him something that he already conquered, he already owned, he already
Mm-hmm.
did this, he put the word on it, right?
Yeah.
The last sentence going into this at the end, he said, "You know what? I done had enough of you. Get out of my face, Satan." You know, all of that. The
Yeah.
next sentence says, immediately after Satan leaves, the angels come and minister to Jesus' needs. What did I just tell you? You get it?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
I do. If you want to say it again. But I get it.
So after all these tests, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna say it again. All those in the back that didn't hear me. So after all of these tests that you felt like you lost everything,
Mm-hmm.
down to your last, almost to your last breath, God sends you a sign that you it won't be moved.
Yeah.
I got you. Immediately after, Jesus gets ministered to his needs. From there, it was now I got to finish my assignment.
Yeah.
What did I just tell you? You better finish your assignment. Now, everybody don't have the same story that you do. And this is
It's true.
exciting to me to
This
see
is
the
true.
hand of God on somebody. Because you got places to go. You got
Yeah.
things to do. The enemy tried you,
Yeah.
but you're stronger for it.
Yeah.
Now, that's dope.
It is.
Now you got a new release, dope too.
Yeah.
Now we speaking differently because God did it. He did it before,
Mm-hmm.
he'll do it again.
Yep.
Now our speaking, our language, our memory is gonna push us forward. Because now, what did y'all see on your thing today? Even if I don't have longevity in
Yeah.
my music, just for that moment, for the song, the
Yeah.
lyric, my life, I'm giving somebody hope today.
Yeah.
That's longevity. Now that's
Mm-hmm.
dope. Now I'm looking at, I know somebody who personally battled all of these things: divorce, losing everything,
Yeah.
my body going through. And I'm looking at you like, ain't no way he had cancer. There's
Not
no
impressed.
way.
Yeah.
You don't look like nothing like somebody who had cancer at
Yeah.
all. So before you have those moments of forgetting,
Mm-hmm.
you got more to write. And we gonna speak that you're gonna be on these platforms. We gonna speak that, the 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 album is gonna go to a whole nother level that you never thought about.
Yeah.
It's called exposure. It's called favor.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you. I'm
Yeah.
excited that we both from the D. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
have this connection. I don't even know how we connected, but however,
Yeah.
God knew. He had me to connect with you so you can see, connect the dots. And now the next time I see you again, I mean, I'll be at your concert.
Let's
Huh?
go. For sure. For sure.
So anybody, we have less than 10 minutes. I mean, an hour go past so fast when you having fun. If y'all have any questions for him, you guys can write it in the chat room. I tell you, I'm so excited for you. The things that I see that you post, it's a visual of hope and faith that God is real. And
Without
I'm
question.
I'm so excited about your
Good.
future. Like, man, I'm glad that we had this moment
Appreciate it.
um for you to tell. Um Let me ask you this too to help somebody else out. I don't know
Yeah.
why I'm feeling um the moment of fear. The moment at that point, at any point, did you feel like God failed you or that she was gonna actually die?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I wrestle with that a lot. You know what I'm saying? And even, to this day, just, because there were times when I was going through chemo, there were people in there on their fourth, second, third, battle with this. And this is my first. I'm like, this thing come back. You know what I'm saying? Though, so that's the thought. Me being in there and seeing people die as soon as they get plugged up, you know what I'm saying? Or you kicking it with somebody and they flatline, or you come back for your next round and we having a moment of silence because they didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? So to have, having all these battle scars and battle wounds and seeing people losing in the battle, it definitely you'd be feeling like you next or what could happen. But yeah, initially when it did happen, I was afraid. And I, again, I started getting everything in order. Who I'm mad at? What did I do when I was 10? Should I tell my mom I stole from Kmart? You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff
Right.
going through my
Right.
mind of like just, and it really shift my perspective on a lot of stuff. It has really, we need another hour to talk about, the shift, just my perspective on life. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's
On
funny
how,
because somebody just asked that question. Like literally, they
yeah,
said, "How has your cancer scare changed your thought or views about life?" That's funny.
yeah. My whole mood is be easy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my whole mood of being easy, letting stuff go, forgive really fast, loving hard, loving intentionally, you know what I'm saying? Being around my family, let my people know that I love them. The stuff that really matters. And granted, there are those small things of like money, how I'm going to do this. But in the grand scheme of things, when you compare it to life, compare it to breathing, compare it to who you are, where you are right now, that stuff don't matter. And so those, I have that reminder of what I went through, I'm saying, and people not making it through that. But what held me through that, I remember waking up one morning and I was reading and I came across what Paul said, for me to live is Christ, to die is gain. And I held on to that and I held on to that. And I was just like, I can't lose. Either way this thing go, like I can't lose. Like, and then I held on to another scripture that where was saying, I'm confident this one thing I would see the good of the Lord in the land of the living. So I really scripture really started coming alive to me when I was facing death. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear all these things and you know what I'm saying, you said and we posted and but I was really in the thick of things and start seeing it come to life for me, and I really believe even in that situation, God was just showing me that he was real. Sometimes we don't know God is all we need until he's all we got. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And things were getting stripped away from me. You know what I'm saying? It was really out of my control to an extent. And I just really started believing. So yeah, it has shifted a lot. It's the reason why I continue to do what I do now with not having tangible things. Of course, we're gonna speak it, of course, we're gonna believe. But for me to be where I'm at right now, just still believing, acting as if, you know what I'm saying, walking in my purpose, even without accolades, even without different things. Like I'm motivated or encouraged or inspired by that moment in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? And the way I talk to people, the way I respond. So it's definitely have shifted like my entire spectrum on life.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm so excited to actually get to know you, to have the opportunity for somebody else to see the other side of the writer, the
Mm,
other side of the filmmaker.
yeah,
Um, and that's what I'm into, the whole totality of you. Um, and I think the world needs to see that. Um, to know that you battled death and you won. You're still winning.
yeah,
And so, speak to the atmosphere of what you want
yeah,
when it comes to your music. You got it. Write the vision. Make it
yeah,
plain. All of that. You got it. Just do it.
yeah,
Just do it.
for sure.
So when I see you on these billboards, I'll be like, wait, do that say dope? Wait a minute. Oh my God.
Yeah,
You spoke it. Expect nothing less.
mm, for sure.
Expect nothing less.
Yeah,
So, again, thank you for this evening. You have blessed my soul. You just don't even know that you have
likewise.
blessed
Thank
my
you.
soul. I'm not gonna charge you for the nuggets that I dropped on you.
I was writing them boys down. Nah, I appreciate it.
Not gonna charge you for the nuggets that I dropped on you. But
Nah,
sometimes
definitely.
when God tell you, you gotta tell it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have no place where they be like, well, you can't say about God, you can't do this. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus is all
Mhm.
I can say.
Yeah.
So again, thank you. I speak blessings upon you and all that you do, all endeavors that you have planned in your mind. Of course, God got the master plan. It's bigger and better than what we could even imagine.
Mm.
Bigger than what we can imagine. And our minds can do some things, but it's nothing what God has for us. So
Yeah.
again, thank you. I will send you the link to the show
Okay.
once I'm get done with this next show. And if you ever want to come back to the platform, just let me know. I
I'm
will.
coming back. That's easy.
Listen. We'll clear my schedule. Make
Okay.
sure that you have this platform to talk about it. I know we didn't really go depth in the music, but I
Yeah.
think the totality of you is what people need to see your heart, see your heart.
Absolutely.
And so, again, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And people, I want you to, of course, like, share, heart, all of that good stuff. But the main event is, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You are one person away, one
Yeah.
advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. And we are out. See ya.
See ya.